You don't become what you want. You become where your habits take you.
Nothing's ever going to be given to you. Everything's going to be earned. If you don't go out there and put in the work, you don't go out and put in the effort, one, you're not going to get the results. But two, more importantly, you don't deserve it. You didn't earn it.
Sorry.
Bless you.
Attention.
Open. Up. All right. Okay. I struggled between two titles of my seminar today with just hit me or hit me with your best shot. Okay? And what it came down to is that we've always kind of reiterated how we really need to focus on our basics, right? Anybody can just hit, right? Even the kids, right? They know how to hit, they know how to kick. So I really wanted to pinpoint it and kind of fine tune, well, if we're gonna hit with our best shot, okay, we gotta give our best shot. So if I'm gonna do my best technique, and I have somebody throwing something that's really not going to connect with me, am I going to do a proper technique? Probably not. I'm probably going to do something else. So if somebody's up here and they're throwing a punch and they're really not committed to it, I have to adjust and move, right? So I want to focus on how we give those proper attacks. I still see a lot of punches that are straight. Okay, that wrist is going to break. I see a lot of punches that do this a lot of the times when we're trying to throw that forward, okay, punch. I see a lot of this. Okay, palms, they got to be at that angle like Mr. Randall said. Okay, give the proper angle. Imagine what you're doing. But if I'm going to do my best technique, I got to get my best shot. Well, if we're all doing our best shot here and we're defending against the best, we're going to be like 10 steps ahead Joe Blow on the street who doesn't know their techniques, okay? We're gonna be able to read that a little bit more, okay? So I'm gonna start off with proper alignment, and it's really hard to draw 2D on a 3D canvas, okay? I have my radial bone here, and I have my ulna bone here. These are the two knuckles that we worry about the most, right? So if I'm punching, okay, is my wrist in alignment? Are my knuckles, are my bones in alignment? No. If I do this, are my bones in alignment with that radial? No. So I gotta hit that sweet spot where I'm not overly angled and I'm not sitting back, but I'm lined just right with that ram's head. Because I'm gonna have the most bracing angle with that radial bone because it's bigger in that forearm, okay? It's bigger, I've got to have that alignment, okay? It goes the same thing if I'm throwing a hook, okay? I can't rely on those back knuckles or otherwise I'm going to get what? What happens when you hit here? Boxer's fracture, right?
Fracture, yeah.
Because those bones, and I didn't draw them because I didn't want to confuse, they're already going up at an angle that they're going to shatter. So if I don't have that proper alignment, I'm not going to have the greatest backup mass backing up that punch. Does that kind of make sense? So we're going to be going over a little bit of the punches today with like our boxers drill, okay? So before we get started on that, I just want to repeat this real quick. It is human nature to take the easy way out. Excuses can be found at every turn. The chance to expand and amplify your good quality is a gift at your own fingertips. That was stated by Larry Tatum. Okay? Don't take the easy way out. Okay? There's a lot of times that we get more open hand. I like to do open hand anytime it comes with the fist or with the face and head. This is like punching the bowling ball, right? Body, I'm more than likely gonna hit or I'm gonna do that knife edge, but it's gotta have that backup mass behind it. So with the boxing drill, We're gonna stand up and have everybody in a right guarding stance. I'm gonna mirror you. Okay, the first two that we have is our jab, and we're gonna do a cross. Okay, with that cross, if you wanna flare those heels up a little bit, feel free to. Okay, I personally like to push on that back heel with that cross, but as you do your jab, okay, we're gonna partner up so everybody can kind of see that alignment, seeing where that jab is going, and then that cross. Okay, but we gotta cross that center line because we're hitting on that jaw on the other side. Bryce, can I have you for a minute? So, if we're here, my jab is gonna go right to that chin, right? Or you can go here. I personally like that one. And then that cross, I'm hitting the other side. Okay, just to kind of give you guys placement. So when we're doing our 1, 2, and then we're gonna return. Okay, everybody partner up, go nice and easy, get your placement, okay, so that you have that proper alignment on that ram's head. Okay, let's do that about 5 times each, throwing 1, 2, and then you switch, and then when you're done, turn around and face me. Okay, I'm gonna say ready, go, we're all gonna clap. Ready, go. How do we do? How's that feel? All right, so we got the 1, 2 down, right? Our jab, our cross. Well, what if we amp this up a little bit for our liking of Kempo artists, where we take it to the body so we can set up our next shot. Right, we talk about that all the time. This is a chess game, we're setting up our next shot. Well, I got Bryce here, okay? I have my 1, 2, that's great. But if he really is here, it's gonna be a little bit of a problem. So if I throw that jab, and I throw here, with that reverse punch, now I'm gonna set up my third shot, which is a hook. Okay, because if he's upright and I try and do a hook from this position, I'm not gonna get it. Okay, so we have our jab with our lead, cross with our back, and we're gonna try and do a hook. But if he's upright, I'm not gonna have that hook. I'm gonna end up doing something different. I wanna get a hook shot where I'm hitting on this angle and I'm coming down on that mandibular. Okay? So we're gonna do our jab, reverse punch, then I'm gonna hook and take it down on that mandibular angle this way. Okay? Now, if I turn this, chances are I'm gonna hit on those back knuckles, okay, and giving a boxer's fracture. So I wanna hold that door and I come down, come down right across that jaw for that hook. Okay, does that make sense? Okay, nice and slow. Okay, hands are up, jab, reverse, hook for 3. Okay, let's do that about 6 times each and then trade, and then we'll come back. Ready, go. Okay, so we had some good questions pop up. Is there any questions you guys have for me? Or like ran into a problem? Maybe a different height on somebody? Somebody's like,
yeah, I did.
All right.
So I get that hook and I can't hook down because even if I hit him in the liver, he's now my height.
Good.
So I have to keep my hook kind of going more in an upward angle to get that strike.
Good. Okay, so that's another option. Okay, I have Bryce here, who is obviously my height. Okay, I'm jab. Even if I hit him here, yeah, he's not quite there. Okay, that hook, I can really put my shoulder at a disadvantage, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so let's talk about this. So I have the jab. Okay, I can go up with it, right? I can do a corkscrew punch, okay, where I'm going straight and then I turn at the end. Okay, I can take that angle up and through, okay. I like that one, but I'm not gonna, if I do a roundhouse punch, okay, I don't want to do this with my body. I don't want to lead with my shoulder. I want to throw that roundhouse this way, and I'm hitting on this side of that jaw, okay? I can throw that roundhouse this direction, throwing that round, if he's not my height and low to where I'm just barely grazing that shoulder, right? Coming over. So we got our 1, 2, 3. All right, he's a little bit taller. Take the upward angle, that's fine. Because then 4, we're gonna take it right into that uppercut. But we have got to activate our lats, okay? Connect that elbow and hit that ram's head with it, okay? These are okay, but this puts me at a disadvantage. Okay, this will injure me faster than keeping it tight and hitting right up in there, okay? Any other problems that we ran into other than height?
The arm gets in the way a lot of times.
The arm gets in the way.
There's the arm.
Right? Great. So for me, I love sparring. I love trying to see what they're going to do when I do this. Now, if the guy's another boxer, you know, if I'm not comfortable with knowing my hand placement, I got to do something else. Okay? If I drop that hand and he tends to drop, or he comes forward, that's a problem, right? So we're going to go a little bit into the B1A here in a minute, okay? Because that hand in front, it's a problem. Now, if he happens to be that really weird stance fighter, this works great, right? He's opened up this side for that jab, okay? So I like that positioning there. His hands are up, yeah, that jab really is just not there all the way. And so we'll go into a little bit of back knuckle. So we'll touch base with that here in a minute. Okay? So the jab, reverse, hook, either hooking down or corkscrew and hooking up. Bringing that, bring that hand to check, and then that uppercut. But you have got to activate your hip. Use that hip behind it. Because if I don't use my hip behind it, I really am muscling it. I don't want to have to muscle this guy. So I got to use everything I have behind that. Okay? So we're going to get 1, 2, 3, and 4. Get a little comfortable with the uncomfortable, tagging your partner a little bit. If you have injuries to your sternum, please don't go to the sternum. Please go to the stomach. Okay? If you need to, go to the liver. Liver's great. Okay? Go nice and slow and easy. Try the different angles, making sure, okay, that angle is aligned and we're not doing this, right? We have got to keep that straight. If I bend my wrist, I'm going to damage my wrist. Okay? So, with the hook here, uppercut forward. Okay? 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, has everybody got that? All right, let's do it 6 times each. Come back, and then we'll go with a little bit of freestyle. Okay, ready? 1, 2. How'd we do? Any questions on that? Okay. We had a great conversation with Mr. Lynn, Mr. Herb over here. That uppercut. Oh, I love it. I know. Well, okay, so with this uppercut. Okay, with this uppercut, I've really got to activate my body behind this. If I don't get my hips activated with this, okay, or keep low and move with the hip, I'm not going to do what I need to do. Oh my gosh, so clinchy. Okay? So if I'm doing, what, Maces of Doom? Is that the one? one of those, right? Okay? If I'm just going through the motion, it's not going to do much. What I have to do is I have to activate this latissimus all behind, and I'm going to scrunch it, and I'm going to connect it to my hip, and I'm going to attach my hip to my fist. Okay? If I don't do that, it's not going to be as effective as that. I have got to launch that hip with it, and I've got to breathe. Okay? You've got to learn to breathe with giving these hits and receiving them. Okay? So, if I'm doing my uppercut here, right, I have to activate that hip, that latissimus, and I'm going full bore in connecting this whole side together as one, kind of like concrete in a statue. Okay? So give that a try in activating that hip with your breath. Okay? We're now fully activating that. So we have jab, reverse, hook. Okay, we're using that back hip. I've really got to commit and attach that elbow almost to my hip, and then it's all moving as one. Okay? If you want to try it with the front, go for it. Okay? This one I absolutely love. But if I'm not really committed, it's not going to move him the way I need him to. Right? It's going to bend him over, bring him up, but really work on breathing out, even when we're doing our drill, right? Right? Then when you speed it up, right? Get mean with it. Activate that breath. Let it fill you. Let it exhale on that hit. And then we're going to touch a little bit on the torque. Okay? I can start here. That's fine. But as I go here, now I'm going to torque follow through. Okay? So, let's do a little bit with number 4, with that uppercut. Okay? You can start with the front. You can do it from the back. Okay? Give it a couple tries. I'm going to give you like a few minutes to do this. Okay? I want to hear some loud breathing in here. I want to hear snakes going off. I want to hear the AC leaking. Okay? I want to hear the breath activating with that uppercut. Okay? So I'll give you a couple minutes to go, and then we'll come back and we'll go over a little bit with the torque. Ready? 1, 2. How was that feeling? Huh? It hurt? Good. Yeah, don't break your partners, but get a little boot behind it, right? Okay, so one thing I want to kind of touch on is when we're doing this drill, okay, it's good to just throw here. Okay, I can do that, that's fine. But I really want to get in the habit of bringing it back. Okay, there's still a lot of this where it's not coming back, right? You gotta snap it back. Okay, bring it back faster than you threw it, right? So if I'm throwing this jab, right, I still want to bring it back so that in case he decides to follow up with that, I have that protection now here. So don't lose the protective factor, okay, or the check factor of throwing and bringing it back. If you need to, touch the cheeks, coming back for a little bit just to get in that habit of bringing it back, right? It's what we tell our kids all the time, bring it back to the cheek, okay? Then as you advance, right, it's still right in front because he throws that. I still have a good bracing angle here, right? Jab, okay? I still have that factor here. If it's hard to remember, bring it back to the cheek just as you throw it, okay, and then bring it back. Okay, get in the habit of getting those checks back, throwing, right? Right? Because if you don't, you're going to be in a world of hurt. Okay? So, with throwing properly now, right, we're going to turn this reverse punch a little bit easier for us. Okay? With that reverse punch, okay, it's good to hit, it's good to hit, then it's good to hit and torque and follow through. Okay? You've got to let that fist start up in that universal chamber with all of our blocks that we do everything with. That is why it's the universal key. If I don't, and I'm here, I don't have the ability to now torque and let it pull me through them. Okay? So you've got to let that fist turn, and you're putting that ram's head right into them and following through with your backup mass now as your hips. Okay? So, I love you, Bryce. Okay? As we're here, I'm going to give them a few taps, right? Okay, now I'm going to activate that hip, and I'm going to push with my heel through him, because I'm not just hitting here, right? I'm hitting his kidneys, right? I'm hitting his spine, or I'm hitting the back wall, whatever it is I'm doing. But I've got to imagine it now that that's where it's going. Okay, I have now got to torque and put that all behind and through him. Okay, don't kill your partners. Okay, but give that little tap of just torque, letting it really turn at the last second so that you're hitting that torque. Let the torque pull you. Okay? Give that. If you need to change up sides a little bit so we're not killing the liver. Not killing the liver, okay? Same thing. You got to activate that hip. Okay? Still bring this hand back, right? Or you can bring it in and check on this side, right? Don't forget your checks. Okay? Do that like 5 or 6 times. Don't kill anybody. Okay? And then we're going to tap in with a little bit of headgear stuff. Okay? All right, 5 or 6 times. Ready, go. All right. So we had some good questions for those who are a little bit shorter, right? It kind of came up again. Well, I'm a little bit shorter. How do I get it? Well, you got to remember, chances are, if we deflate them, more than likely they're going to bend over. Okay, more than likely. We're going off of a beginner's stage after that reverse punch. Okay, that it's really going to take them out. So with that hook, this is where you're going to see it come into play. So we tapped into that uppercut in hooking that body, keeping it attached. Well, why can't we do it with the hook? Okay. If we do the same thing with the hook where we attach our body with this hook, so much rice. Okay. So I've done my jab. I've done my reverse. My hand should still be back here, right? So if I activate the same principle that we had for that uppercut with my body, with my hips, my hands are back here, this is now where the hook comes in. Right? Jen's over there laughing. Okay? Okay?
Hey Bryce, remember that elbow back in tennis?
Yeah, I got it. I got it.
Want a double helmet?
You want a double helmet? I don't think that would fit. Suck it up. Why not activate that hook in the same fashion that I've now activated that uppercut? Okay, so with that, I've deflated him, that hand's back. So now I'm really gonna I'm gonna hook my body And that hook goes all the way to hook. Now, if you want to bring it up and over, you still got to activate that backside, okay? But you've got to use that torque, use that hip behind that punch, okay? Don't go to zero pressure because you're not going to have it, because then you have to try and muscle through it. So that deflation here, I'm just now coming through, okay? If you want helmets, take a little bit of time to practice that hook, okay? Talk with your partners. You doing okay? Okay? Talk with your partners. Get a little hit so you can feel it. Get a little bit of that hit to feel it. And then when you hook, follow through. Okay? I'm gonna give you a couple minutes on that, not as long, but go for it. If you don't have the helmet, really control, but really try to work that torque with the way that you've now worked your uppercuts. Okay? All right. Okay? Or if you need to, okay, if they're tall and you can't hit them in the head, guess what? Hit them in the pec. Square them up a little bit.
What's that?
Hit them in the pec. Okay? Ladies, you might be a little uncomfortable, but take it. Okay? Use that hook and really follow through with that hip. Okay? All right, go for it. Listen to our Kempo drill. Okay?
Oh, that's pretty good.
I like hearing all the Velcro coming off. Good. Okay, so let's tie this into our Kempo drill. Centerline set. Okay? Is this centerline set?
No.
Why not? I did it. What was that, Dale?
I said we don't punch that way.
We don't punch that way. So why am I doing centerline set like this? Well, because of speed, right? Looks flashy. At this point in time, I don't care about flashy. I want correct principles. Anytime Jed and I are doing centerline set, okay, we're using those hips. We are activating those correct attacks. Okay, this is now our centerline boxing drill set. Okay, so get with a partner, starting right to right. You're gonna throw that hook or that roundhouse, okay? You're still gonna use everything here, bringing that hand back up for those that are attacking and throwing the punches. Okay? Let's get used and get in the good habit, going nice and slow, throwing correct attacks. Because then, if I'm throwing my best shot, he is now doing his best technique, which ultimately becomes his best shot. Okay? I want to be able to defend against Jed on the street if he ever loses his ever-loving mind. Okay, now mine is going to be this way because I'm not going to go hand-to-hand with Jed. Okay, but I got to practice that still. Right? So, let's do this universal Kempo drill now using correct attacks. Still using that lat, still using that hook, so that he can now learn to defend against proper attacks. Okay? I think we got like 8 minutes left. Let's do that real quick. Partner up. Go back and forth. Try and do 3 times. Okay? Being the puncher. And then doing the receiving and blocking. Okay? Ready? Let's go. Any questions before I close it up? Bye, Bryce. Sorry to send you home. Just kidding. All right. Yeah. Oh, so that was the real reason why he was here until we swapped, right? Thanks, Bryce. All right. See you, Bryce. So just to kind of add a little bit of that reasoning why we have to get good, proper attacks so that I learn how to defend against the best. Then that way when I get somebody on the street doing this, I'm going to be 10 steps ahead. Because then I can still feed that, I can still see that. This is a lot harder to now read if I haven't practiced against that. Okay, so anytime you're doing your attacks, even with that step through punch, Jed is still going to throw a proper technique.
Do you want the roundhouse or do you want the overhand?
Do the roundhouse.
Okay.
Okay, then I can still move and I can protect against that. Okay, if he's going to give me 20%, he's still going to give me the proper attack. Okay, 20%. Awesome.
20%.
I still got tagged. It was great. Okay, he gives me 20%. Okay, I can now read that. Gives me 40%. Okay, 50. When did I move? Sorry. I moved when I saw this shoulder move. I didn't move till this hand was halfway here. Okay, he's still up the ante, but he's still throwing proper technique. Okay, so play with that with some of your students, going like, okay, let's go 20%. Okay, I can feel that. Let's do 20 again. 20. Okay, 40. Okay, 40. 50. I've got to be moving when I see this move, not when it's already here or even here. I don't like chancing that for me personally. Okay, so play with some of the percentages. Okay, play with some of those hooks. Okay, if I throw improper, he's going to do his technique improper. He's going to be throwing that hand way out farther than he needs to. Okay, if I do it proper, oh, that was close. Okay, he's now going to be able to trust his angles. Okay, stay inside that box. Trust those angles. Trust your box. Not your opponent's, trust your box. Okay, and that's what I have for you guys today. So thank you very much. We'll close out. Open.